What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Oliver Piggle, your Clarksville real estate agent. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. It's a beautiful morning here in Clarksville, Tennessee. I know we've been getting a lot more views lately, which is absolutely incredible. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. So I'm just going to introduce myself one more time. My name is Oliver Piggle. I'm a Clarksville real estate agent here in Clarksville, Tennessee. I do middle Tennessee area. I've been here for 4 years now. 3 of those years I was active duty military. So I was stationed here, bought myself a house in 2020. So I went through that process. I used the VA loan and got all of that situated. So that is kind of what I like to do. I like to help people buy their first home, either that or investment properties. But I am well versed in the VA home loan process since I did it myself. I'm currently in the National Guard, and this is what I do full time. So that's just a little bit about me and how I came to be. So I've been here 4 years. I know this place pretty well, and I absolutely love it here. So without further ado, let's get into the topic of today's video, and that is fix and flips. So I wanted to talk to you guys about fix and flips and the pros and cons of fix and flips. I know a lot of people like fix and flips for investing, which is great, but there are a couple things that I would absolutely do to mitigate your risk even further, and then we could talk about that. And then coming up in the next couple of videos, we're going to talk about why you should probably go with new construction and the pros and cons about new construction as well. And that's a video for another time. Without further ado, let's get into it. So fix and flips, the pros and cons, that's what we're going to be talking about today. Oh, my camera. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So obviously the pros is they are typically cheaper. Well, they are cheaper than regular homes, right? Of course, they need some work. They absolutely need some work, but the funding aspect of fix and flips are actually kind of easy. You cannot use a DSCR loan for that. The DSCR loan is only for properties that are in stable condition. They will not give you a DSCR loan if you are looking to fix and flip a home. You'll need to go with actually a hard money loan or a conventional loan if that is something that you want to do for a fix and flip. So the difference between the two, the hard money loan is typically at a higher interest rate than a regular conventional loan. You can get like a builder's loan or a hard money loan underneath a conventional loan, but typically they are separate. So when talking about a hard money loan, the bank realizes that you're going to get in and you're going to get out as quick as you possibly can. And so they will give you that money quick, but at a higher interest rate. So that's a con of the hard money loan for sure. But it's not that big of a deal if you're just going to get in and out right away. So we talked about the price of that piece of property. Now let's talk about something negative, and obviously that could be the unforeseen cost that you have when buying a piece of property that is dilapidated or that needs a little bit of work, right? And to mitigate that risk right there is you just got to buy, or you got to pay someone to come out, a home inspector to come out and look at the property for you. So if you are not well versed in doing that yourself, even if you are, I would highly recommend you to spend that extra money and get yourself a good inspector. Why is that? Well, it's because the inspectors, they know what they're looking for. They've done it before, right? That's their whole job, is to inspect properties to make sure that there's no foundational damage, there's no damage underneath the house, there's no like termites or anything like that. That could be some serious cash coming out of your pocket and will definitely eat into your profit if you buy a piece of property and you did not see that. That's a good way of ruining the profits of that property, and you could even go into the negative a little bit if that is the case. So get yourself a good inspector to look at that piece of property before, just to make sure that there's no structural damage. Now, that's not to say they're probably going to be like, oh yeah, the walls need to be replaced, the carpet needs to be replaced, but you're going to do that anyway, so it doesn't necessarily matter. Just looking at the structural, the roof, the wood, the quality of the wood. You probably don't want to knock down any walls, but if you do, that's fine. But just going through and making sure that there's no termite damage or anything like that will definitely save you a headache in the long run. So let's talk about another pro, is the money, right? So if you structure your deal correctly, if you run your numbers, and when you run your numbers, you have to be completely unbiased, right? Even if you like the property personally, if you like the location of it, right? If your only goal is to fix and flip this house, you have to run the numbers unbiasedly. So if the numbers are good, you can make a decent amount of money fixing and flipping homes, right? And that in itself, like you're working for yourself. All you need to do is worry about the financing, but the financing is easy to come across, just because like if you have a stable income, if you have 20% down, they're going to give it to you anyway, because they make money off the money that you borrow. So when you make money, they make money, and then that cycle continues. So of course they're going to look at the deal as well. Don't get me wrong, they're not going to just give you willy-nilly anything. They're probably going to run the numbers for you as well, just to make sure that is a profitable deal that you're trying to put together. And if it is a profitable deal, then guess what? You're going to get that money. Now let's talk about another con, and this is probably the biggest con of fixing and flipping, and that is finding good contractors to work for you. And finding good contractors that do a good job on a home. So this takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort, and that's why I think a lot of people will try to resort to do it themselves. However, if you're not good at doing it yourself, or if you've never done it before, it could take a lot of time and a lot of effort. So both situations can take a lot of time and a lot of effort. It's just, what do you want to focus on? Do you want to focus on building it yourself, or do you want to focus on vetting people that could potentially do a good job for you? And that is something that you have to make the decision on your own. I cannot make that decision for you. Those two things are what I would go and I would stress to you, is if you are looking for a contractor, make sure you vet them. Make sure you talk to other builders, right? Don't go to just one contractor, go to multiple contractors and talk to them. Talk to them about what they do, and ask them if they've done a fix and flip before. And if they have, or if they're working on one, stop by, see how they work, see how they do. What's their quality of building, right? Are they worth the money? Right, you don't know that until you go out to one of their sites, or you vet them yourself, or you talk to other people. Other people are going to know, right? Other builders are going to know. Other like people that do roofs and plumbers and electricians, and all those people are going to know who the good contractors are. All you need to do is go pick up the phone and call them. Hey, what's your recommendation for this contractor? What do you think about this guy? What do you think about that? And that could absolutely save you thousands of dollars when you're going around and you're trying to figure out who the best guy is. If you just go to the first guy you see on Google, right? No go, right? You're setting yourself up for failure, just because you don't know those Google ads. You pay money to get up, to rank up. You pay SEO to rank up, right? You could be terrible, right? But you're still ranking high on Google ads, right? So that's just something to keep in mind when you're going for a contractor. I think that is the most painful portion of it. So Getting the funds, not that painful. Finding a contractor, painful for sure. And all you gotta do is really just run the numbers, right? There's spreadsheets out there all over the internet talking about, hey, run your numbers like this, run your numbers like that. There's spreadsheets that you put the numbers in and it calculates it automatically for you, which is awesome, right? But remember, once you start borrowing money, they will not let you borrow money if the bank themselves find any discrepancies, or if the bank themselves are not confident in the ability of that piece of property to either A, sell for a profit, right? Because they don't want to lose money either. If you're in the red, that means the bank is probably going to be in the red as well. So they don't want to lose money either. So don't worry about that. Find yourself a deal, run those numbers, and when you figure out a deal, or when you find a deal, send it to the bank, send it to a mortgage broker. They'll run the numbers for you and make sure that you're not missing anything. And then it's time for you to vet all of those contractors that we just talked about. That is the most painful part by far. And there's helicopters flying over me. This will be a good time to end the video. So without further ado, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about what I talked about, go ahead, put them down in the comments section. I would love to answer any questions you have about fixing, flipping, the pros and cons, and how to get funding for it as well. If you do need help funding, give me a call, shoot me a text. I'll have my contact information down below. I'll hook you up with one of my my lenders that I really like using, and we'll get you squared away. And I just want to say thank you guys so much again for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next video.